Pro Wrestling Magic. Knights of Columbus in Ridgefield Park. Pro Wrestling Magic fans, I am longtime independent wrestling fan Robert. Somewhere in the Night was a very good show leading from the end, from Even Now last month. The night kicks off with three police officers from Jersey City, and they talked about a program they do where they talked about when an officer is killed in the line of duty, to remember that person instead of, sometimes a fallen officer being forgotten as months and even years go by. And they presented a plaque to Sonia Strong, who a few months back won a battle royal and took the money from her winnings and donated it to the Jersey City officers. We then get on with the Danger Zone segment with Danger Jameson and Matthias Glass. And their guests were the Super Savages, Monte and Caveman. And what happened was they brought in hula hoops, and I think fire went, there was some kind of a fire that I think Matthias or Jameson had, and Caveman was intrigued, but he kept putting it out. Monte then threw some kind of powder, causing them to freeze, and I forgot what they did after that, but that led up to the beginning of the Grayson's Gallery of Rogues Gauntlet Tag Team Gauntlet, which first saw the Super Savages, Caveman and Monte, defeat the Oi Boys, Matthias Glass and Danger Jameson. Then out comes little Guido of ECW fame, and he mentioned the fact that Friday was St. Patrick's Day, and he said he was celebrating his favorite holiday, and he says, and he introduced his favorite leprechaun, who turned out to be Swoggle. And Guido and Swoggle defeated the Super Savages. Then it was out comes, representing Kill the Magic, Mike Donovan and Aaron Bradley, who were accompanied by They were accompanied by Matty Ice. Donovan and Bradley wound up defeating Guido and Swoggle in the gauntlet. But then out comes Magic, who was going to have a partner as well. Magic comes to the ring, but then out comes Kill the Magic member Steve Off, and saying that Off tells Magic, saying about, that Magic trained him and brought him in the business, and I think he said he was going to give Magic a chance to back out of the gauntlet or something like that. Magic refused and did a number on Off, and eventually out comes Triple Licious, who I guess hasn't been on a show in quite some time. And I don't know, the referee made a 10 count, and I don't know if something went wrong here. The ring announcer announced that Bradley and Donovan were disqualified, and Magic and Triple Licious were counted out. I don't know if it was because Steve Off got involved, but then because there was nobody, because the previous two teams were out of the match. They had to bring two teams out. One of them was the Crusade for Change, T.J. Marconi and Darius Carter, and the other team were the Down Boys. It should be noted, during this gauntlet match, the tag team champions, the Amazing Graysons, and Adam Payne were around ringside. And I forgot what happened. Marconi and Carter were victorious over the Down Boys, I think due to interference by, I forgot if it was the Graysons or Payne. But then out came our final team, Fit to be Tied, Smiley and Mike Graca, who were accompanied by this young lady who had this huge Harley Quinn type hammer with her. I do apologize for not getting her name. But they go on. Eventually, Adam Payne, I believe, pulls T.J. Marconi out of the ring, and Marconi did a dive onto Payne right in front of us. And then eventually, Fit to be Tied took advantage and ended up pinning Darius Carter to become number one, to win the gauntlet, becoming number one contenders for the Tag Team Championship. Up next, we saw singles matches, as we saw the lit future Sebastian Cage defeat El Presidente Pinky Sanchez. After the match, Cage takes the microphone and issued a challenge to whoever won the Dark Arts title match later on, and stating that he wanted his opportunity for that belt on April the 15th. And up next, we see the God of Drivers, Everett Cross, comes out with his Dark Arts Championship, and he said that he was supposed to wrestle the Indigo Child, and claimed that he beat him up and did a number on him, and then eventually Cross's opponent is introduced, and it's none other than Rude Boy Riley, which resulted in Everett Cross ended up defeating Rude Boy Riley to retain the Dark Arts Championship. Next matchup was a four-way match which saw GPA defeat Craig Mitchell, Matt Nix, and Rob Meadow or Masters. I apologize if I got his name wrong, because according to the program here, Stevie Fierce was supposed to be in this matchup, but apparently didn't show up. But GPA was victorious to retain the Freelance Championship Wrestling Heavyweight Championship. Up next, we saw a battle of big men as we saw Danny Moff go one-on-one with Ace Romero in a very big, hard-hitting matchup. Romero ended up defeating the seasoned veteran Danny Moff, where Moff then took the microphone and he basically said that Romero does not have the cosmetic look, saying people could play he's 350 pounds and he's too fat. But Moff said that Romero is the independent wrestling of tomorrow, and they shook hands, and quite a moment took place that night, that moment. Ooh. Then we go to intermission. I think after a match like that, we needed one. And then the action resumed as we saw, representing Kill the Magic, Steve Off defeat Stevie Shields. And I think after the match, the rest of Kill the Magic, Aaron Bradley, Mike Donovan, Matty Ice, and their manager, I apologize for not getting his name again. They're doing a number on Shields, but then Magic, Matt Sells, and Hoost Traplash, they come out, and they're wanting the Deuce they're attempting to save the day, but then I don't know who this guy is. I don't know if he's the commissioner or some type of in-ring authority figure. He takes the microphone and he says that at the second anniversary show on Saturday, April 15th, there's going to be an 8-man tag team match. And at that point, I think, at that point, they were separated. And then our next matchup, we saw the Amazing Graysons with Adam Payne in their corner defeat Matt Sells and Hoost Traplash to retain the tag team championship. I really enjoy the fact that the Graysons come out to the theme from the TV show, the cartoon Batman Beyond. I used to love watching that on Saturday mornings. Then next up in a very good matchup, we saw Rachel Ellering defeat Sonia Strong to win the Pro Wrestling Magic Women's Championship. After the match had over, they hugged and embraced, and then out of nowhere comes former Women's Champion Tara Calloway, does a number on Ellering, leaving her laying, and Calloway left the ring with the Women's Championship belt. Up next, we saw a matchup with Evander James go one-on-one with Eddie McQueen. And I think McQueen challenged Evander to a dance-off, and McQueen started dancing to Kylie Minogue's Can't Get You Out of My Head, which was a big hit back in the early 2000s. And eventually, the match got underway, and Eddie McQueen defeated Evander James. Just before the main event, we had there was a raffle. Among the prizes given away were 2 VIP tickets for the second anniversary show on Saturday, April 15th. And what happened was they brought Eddie McQueen out to pick a winning number, eventually to be interrupted by the King of New York, E.C. Negro, and he's called McQueen McQueer, called him a hermaphrodite of all things. Yeah, I know, folks, it's not okay to do that stuff now. And eventually McQueen ended up leaving the ring area, and it was main event time as we saw E.C. Negro defend the heavyweight championship against J.T. Dunn, Ricky Martinez, and Juan Francisco de Coronado. That's a mouthful. Try saying that 3 times fast. And eventually, EC Negro pinned, I forgot if it was Martinez or Coronado after JT Dunn. I forgot if he hit death by elbow or not. And after the match, Dunn takes the microphone and he's saying, he says, yeah, he says, fuck, what does he say? He says, everyone, that he feels that if he gets another shot at that belt, he would become champion. People in the crowd were chanting 4 more years, and Dunn responded, he says, 4 more years? Not my champion. And that's pretty much how the show ended, and very good event somewhere in the night. By the way, I'm wondering if whoever comes up with these show titles is a big fan of Barry Manilow. Because January was titled Looks Like We Made It. Last month was titled Even Now, and this was titled Somewhere in the Night. But it's personal notes time. Great sitting near Bill from Connecticut, Shane Fair. Just noticed some pretty ladies in the crowd. We do have one. Yeah, we do have one memorable quote. The audience has spoken. You are now a string bean. This one little girl sitting near me, referring to Rob Meadow, Masters, whatever his name is. His name was. But Pro Wrestling Magic returns on Saturday, April 15th. They present their 2nd anniversary show. Already pretty much announced an 8-man tag team match. On one side, Kill the Magic, Aaron Bradley, Mike Donovan, Matty Ice, and Steve Off as they go up against Magic, Matt Sells, Hoost Traplash, and I believe it's Stevie Shields, or is it somebody else? Pro Wrestling Magic, please confirm that. I would like to see the Amazing Graysons defend the tag belts against Fit to be Tied. Rachel Ellering defend the newly won Women's Championship against the former champion Tara Calloway. Everett Cross defend his Dark Arts Championship against Sebastian Cage. And I forgot to mention, before Cross's match with Rude Boy Riley, the lights in the building went out and there was a voice heard saying he was coming for Cross. So I don't know if that's someone else or if that was supposed to be Sebastian Cage. Interesting to see what they're going to do with this next event. But definitely a great night of wrestling. And it's, I mean, it just the name says it. It's like magic seemingly with these shows. But definitely hold on to your hats April 15th.